An apple, a raven, and a writing desk. The story of Ever After High. The beginning. The enchanted world was unimaginable, to say the least. From the sands of Agrabah in the east to Ahtohallan's cold winds in the north, not to mention what hid underneath. Besides its breathtaking views, its kingdoms were even more impressive. The great kingdoms of the enchanted world had been under attack for years by the corruption of the very thing that made it special: magic. The lust for power and money had driven the most empathetic souls to hate and greed, leading them to the mistreatment of magic. However, with the power and honor magic gives its wielder, it also comes with a price. The evening was uncharacteristically still, almost as if the sky had known of the storm to come. Beneath the still sky, in the heart of the Fourth Kingdom, royal courts from all around the enchanted world gathered for the first time in hundreds of years. In the courtroom of the Fourth Kingdom's castle, knights, maids, and advisors and other members of the royal courts yelled over each other to the point where it was unclear if they could even hear the person next to them. Members of the various royal families watched calmly as the meeting turned to heated debate. Queen Snow nudged her husband, hoping he could quiet the room. King Florian raised his hand, and the royal court knew to settle. "Please continue," King Florian said, pointing at the royal advisor for the surface land of Atlantica. Using dark magic, the sea witch plunged Atlantica into darkness, as well as the surface world, argued Sir Grimsby. "But not all magic is bad. We can't just get rid of it all," Sir Lumiere yelled at Sir Grimsby, although with his accent it was hard to understand. "Oh, please," Sir Grimsby scoffed. "You were turned into a candlestick, and your master a beast. How could you say that?" "I was a candelabra," Lumiere said while straightening his jacket. "Our lives and our kingdom is better for it. It was a lesson, not a punishment." "I agree with Sir Lumiere," Lord Phineas added. "If it hadn't been for the Sundrop Flower, our queen and her mother would be dead," he said, gesturing towards the king and queen of Corona sitting behind him. The center of the room, where all the different royal courts were sitting, had once again erupted into a barrage of arguing. Kings and queens from the different kingdoms sat in giant, elegant chairs around the outside of the room. All the royals exchanged looks and were all in agreement. "Enough," King Adam's voice bellowed. "All of you, leave us." "But sire," Lumiere questioned. King Adam gave Lumiere and the rest of the court a look, and they all knew not to question. Within seconds, each member of the royal courts bowed and left, leaving only kings and queens in the courtroom. "Now we can really begin and come up with a plan that all kingdoms can agree with," King Henry said optimistically. "Easier said than done," added Queen Belle. "I disagree," said Queen Ella. "Not all magic is good, and not all magic is bad. That part is easy. It's the people who use dark magic we have to deal with." "Oh, really?" King Philip said mockingly. "Yes. Fairy Godmother is the most compassionate and caring soul there is, and she uses her magic to help people, not to mention kingdoms with strong magical connections like Arendelle, Agrabah, and Atlantica," Queen Ella argued. "But Fairy Godmother's magic has been used for evil before, hasn't it? Against you and your husband by your stepmother," King Philip sneered. "Yes, but," Queen Ella started, but was quickly cut off. "And because of Agrabah's strong connection to magic," he said mockingly, "it was almost taken over by a madman." "Yes, but," Queen Ella started, but was quickly interrupted again when King Philip stood up to address the entire room. "Atlantica almost suffered the same fate, endangering the entire world, and Arendelle was completely frozen over by an out-of-control queen," King Philip yelled, only this time being interrupted by Queen Anna. "That is enough. How dare you?" she said furiously. "All right, everyone, please. This isn't helping," Queen Belle said calmingly. King Philip sat down with a smirk on his face, as if he had won the argument. We all have different opinions on magic, but I think we can agree that these sorcerers and witches need to be dealt with, Queen Tiana said, hoping to ease the tension in the room. The group looked around at each other, then nodded in agreement. Okay then, Queen Ella started, while nodding at Queen Tiana, thanking her. Where can we put them? Bars and chains have proven ineffective. Obscurum, said King Philip through his teeth. The room was quiet for what felt like years. You can't be serious, Queen Belle said in shock, looking at her husband, who looked even more shocked than his wife. Cruel, he muttered. We agree. That's going too far, King Henry added. It was unclear if anyone else really agreed with King Philip, or if they were all still living in fear of the witches, sorcerers, and others that had used dark magic in an attempt to enslave, kill, or curse them in the past year. Well, I think this calls for a vote, King Philip said with a smirk. The vote was carried out with barely anyone saying a word. Then it's decided, announced Queen Aurora. Obscurum shall be the place where they carry out their sentence and repay their debt to society. That evening, many things happened that would shape the years after. First, the Grand Royal Council was formed, a group of kings and queens from each kingdom that would come together and decide on things that would affect the entire enchanted world. Second, a magical relic called the Looking Glass would be used to trap people in Obscurum. Third, their first prisoner would be Rumpelstiltskin. He was one of the most powerful dark sorcerers to ever exist, and trapping him would be nearly impossible. However, he had one downfall. He loved to make deals. During the night to follow, the sky had opened up in a fury, with booming thunder and large white lashes of lightning, along with an ongoing downpour of rain. Only few know exactly what happened that night, but the years to follow would be in the history books. Slowly but surely, every person who had wielded dark magic were hunted down and trapped in Obscurum using the Looking Glass. Even some who had not used dark magic but were still seen as a threat by the Grand Royal Council. After the council had succeeded in their mission to ensure the safety and prosperity of their kingdoms, the use of magic was forbidden and the Looking Glass was sealed away, along with all other magical relics. Not many protested this, since in the years prior, magic had mostly caused pain to many. With no magic, dark or otherwise, the enchanted world prospered, and everyone was happy. However, their futures were unclear, with magic being the very thing that built each kingdom many years ago. But their decision was made. Magic was gone, and with it their problems. At least that's what they believed.